Post-mission report, Operation Shadow Box. From Sergeant Paige O'Dargan to Odin. Attention, Major Maru Gales, Sergeant Thomas Stonewall. Classification, Top Secret. AI firewall in place. By order of Major Gales, I was entrusted with the command of Operation Shadow Box. With Lieutenant Red Power on light duty, Specialist Banger Feldman served as my second. Our mission was to infiltrate the pit and secure the black box, a task of critical importance given the current turmoil in our chain of command. Echo Team 1 was assigned to recover General Hawk's final orders and, if we were fortunate, Agent Chuckles Provost's last mission report. Before departing, I had Dr. Winston inject me with the bioorganics, not wanting our medic to be compromised in the field by a random infection. I suggested the rest of the team do the same, but none took up the offer. Chief Warrant Officer Wild Bill Hardy expertly piloted our flight to Utah. During the journey, Banga thought it would be amusing for a comer to leave an unpleasant surprise on the Mako's windshield, much to Corporal Dae Hasong's annoyance. The remainder of the flight went smoothly, and Wild Bill skillfully deployed the Mako into enemy territory with our team aboard. Dae took point, expertly steering us clear of any deviant nests. During the ride, I found out the hard way that you've got to brace yourself when powering up your bioorganic armor, or you might find yourself out cold. When we reached the motor pool, Dae made sure our vehicle was secure before we carried on with the mission on foot. Specialist Airwave Kelrin, with her vast knowledge of the pit, led us to the operations center where the black box was stashed. When we arrived, we were surprised to find Chuckles still alive, though in a bad way due to a bioorganic infection. A comer showed impressive skill in removing 7 mechanisms from Chuckles' arm, earning his gratitude. Meanwhile, Red Power used his sword to skillfully free Chuckles from his handcuffs. While Banger and Dae secured the black box, I attended to Chuckles' injuries. It was then that Airwave alerted us to incoming tangos. Specialist 3.141592, known as Blast Pup, managed to access the pit systems and charted a course to the infirmary where I could grab saline drips for Chuckles. He also plotted a potential escape route, one that would hopefully let us dodge any hostile forces. On the way to the infirmary, Chuckles let me know that Petty Officer 2nd Class Shadow Flare, whose medical files I still don't have the clearance to review, was imprisoned because Chuckles had mistakenly believed him to be the turncoat known as Firefly, which turned out not to be the case. With Chuckles in desperate need of medical attention, I had Light Red Power, Dae, and our wave handled the prisoner retrieval. Once we reached the infirmary, Blast Pup stood guard while Banger helped me patch up Chuckles as quickly as possible. I realized Chuckles needed more care than I had time to provide, but I was able to stabilize his arm enough to, hopefully, get him to the Mako in one piece. As I worked, Banger spotted a small bioscorpion watching us but not attacking. I ordered him to take it out. We didn't need any unwanted eyes and ears on us. Red Power and his team successfully extracted Shadow Flare without issue and met us at the infirmary. Though I still don't know what to make of him, the team found him eating one of the bioscorpion. Disgusting. But it explained why he was already infected with the bioorganics. Both Acomer and Shadow Flare informed me that these creatures operate like a hive mind. Shadow Flare decided he'd try to disrupt the mother's signal when the time came. Between Shadow Flare's advanced scanning abilities and Blastpup's access to real-time data, the droid was able to plan the best escape route, allowing us to hit the comms room and the armory before reaching the Mako. As we were about to leave the medical bay, the bird scope flew up and ate the dead scorpion Banger had shot earlier. Mankey. And to top it off, it started playing as we ran down the hallway. We fought our way to the comms room, called for exfil and backup, and successfully synced up with Odin. As Shadow Flare received a sit rep from Odin, Funky Town wrapped up, only for its to start playing. I had half a mind to smack that bird, but I was too busy taking care of Chuckles and managing the team. Low on ammo and with plenty of tangos, we didn't waste any time. With no rounds to spare, we made it to the armory doors, only to be met by a massive scorpion. Banger intercepted an attack on Acomer, taking the hit himself. As I moved to check on him, Acomer handed Banger one of the dots, which healed his wound but started infecting him with the bioorganics. As that scorpion went down, another took its place. I used my newly honed bioorganic abilities to mentally dominate it, while Shadow Flare rolled underneath and successfully opened the door. Once inside the armory, I ordered Airwave to seal the blast door, locking us in. After quickly restocking my mags, I checked over Chuckles, trusting the others to load up on the heavier munitions. As our wave was opening the blast doors, we heard a thunderous bang. With no other option, we braced for the worst, only to find Sergeant Stonewall, fully powered up in his bioorganic gear, making a quick quip.
Greetings, Rawhides. You called for some backup. Let's get your team out of here.
But behind him loomed a truly massive scorpion. Turns out my new pet Dreadsting it was not. Stonewall ordered Blastpup to assist him with what we now called Scoponormius, while I commanded the rest of the team to head for the Mako. Disobeying my order, Shadow Flare followed Blastpup and Stonewall, while the others fell in line. Shadow Flare pulled off some fancy acrobatics to get on top of Scoponormius, planting C4 on its head. Meanwhile, Red Power accidentally set off some rockets earlier than expected, sending Banger and Acomer diving towards the Mako. Within seconds, the C4 detonated, creating a massive hole in the creature's enormous head. Before anyone could react, Stonewall swiftly took out two of its legs in a blur of motion, followed by more explosions from Blastpup. Dreadsting didn't even get a chance to strike. Frustrating, as I'd wanted to test my new abilities on it. Acomer used a whirlwind to clear a path to the rear door of the Mako, while I tried, and failed, to mind control more of the scorpions. However, I managed to stun them long enough to prevent an attack, giving us just enough time to get everyone into the Mako. As we boarded, Acomer fittingly played Beat It over the comms. Upon leaving the pit, we spotted two dragons hovering above. As soon as we were within range, it descended to pick us up. Over the comms, we heard First Lieutenant Talangoud Harper piloting her dragon solo, A risky move, especially since she hadn't been medically cleared by Corporal Taiga Strike Ito or myself. I'll need to have a word with Stonewall later about why he overrode her medical status. Given the situation, I immediately ordered Day to the co-pilot seat while I headed to the infirmary with Chuckles. But we weren't in the clear yet. The dragon was surrounded by scorpions, and, to our surprise, the little feckers could fly. While Wild Bill, in his dragon, Banger, Shadow Flare, and Blast Pop worked to clear a path, we were quickly swarmed. Red Power used the red reactor in his suit to generate a massive blast wave, clearing the scorpions but draining his suit's power completely, causing him to plummet toward the ground. Fortunately, both Blast Pop and Shadow Flare leapt into action, literally. Shadow Flare managed to catch Red, and Blast Pop then had to rescue both of them. By that point, at least, they were making a controlled descent. After Red's rescue, we made our way back to the Silverado without